Oh, wait. So you guys thought that yesterday's show was a huge show. Well, we're not done. We're not done. Ismail Mahdi, Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week, on the other side of the intro. And on the other side of that interview, Arizona Offensive Coordinator Seth Doege. Drink your water. Stick around. Leave a like. Don't go anywhere. It's the AZ Wildcats Podcast, y'all.
Welcome on in, everybody, to the AZ Wildcats Podcast, coming to you live from Studio K, presented by our friends at Circle K. And as Kevin said, guys, we have an absolutely loaded show for you today. You thought yesterday was crazy. Well, welcome to Thursday, where we're going to have on two of the most high-profile Arizona football guests that you could have in the business right now. Starting off with our guy, Ismail Mahdi, here in just a few seconds. But that is my guy, Kevin Thomas. I am Damon Fairall. And happy Thursday to everybody at home. Kevin, how are we living on Thursday?
Happy Friday Eve to everybody at home.
Friday Junior.
Friday the 3rd would be like a Tuesday or something. But yeah, happy Thursday to everybody. It's going to be a great show today. Ismail Mahdi, Big 12 Player of the Week. Arizona's new offensive coordinator, Seth Doege, who has now 3 weeks under his belt, will be coming on after Ismail leaves the show as well. So I'm just hyped to get into these interviews, Damon. And I know the chat has some questions for our guy, Ismail Mahdi, as well. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Why don't we go ahead and just bring him on in here, Kevin? Not waste any more of his time. We got reigning, defending Big 12 Player of the Week, Offensive Player of the Week. But unfortunately, Ismail, you won't be able to defend that crown because Arizona is, in fact, on a bye this weekend. But starting off with just that Kansas State game, just kind of tell us how that went from your perspective.
I think it went really great. We went out there and competed. Just keeping the main thing, not taking any team lightly, no matter as an FCS team, no matter as a Power 4 team. We went out there and just prepared the right way. We went out there and just got out there and just competed at practice, and we was ready to go. We went out there and showcased Redline. It was good.
Was the game plan kind of the way that it played out, or did that maybe come about with how Kansas State was defending you, the adjustments that Coach Doege made, or did you guys go into this game saying we're going to really establish the ground game in this one and kind of use that to drive us to victory?
Yeah, we went in there. We knew we could run the ball on them. Honestly played out the way it played out. You know, that's how it is. If the run game was if the run game was working, run the ball. If the pass game was working, pass the ball. And the run game was working that night, and so we kept going with the run game and ran the ball real well. The O-line did a great job blocking up front. Those guys, they got beef of the week, and those guys really went out there and played football. So.
Yeah, and can you talk a little bit about that relationship that you built with your offensive line early in this season? Not only is it a lot of new offensive linemen for this Arizona squad, but it's your first time with that new offensive line group. So how has that dynamic been going? And not only that, you're in a bit of a running back committee, so I'm sure you're splitting practice reps and time and development time with these linemen. So how has that relationship building been going through 3 weeks and I guess half a bye week?
Yeah, it's been great to just get in there and building a relationship with those guys. Know what gets us out there, and we do team bonding with the O-linemen, and then we're with those guys all the time because we got to know protection keys and we got to know what they're doing, so we're on the same page. So we meet every day with those guys just to make sure everything is situated, which is protection, run game, and Coach Osby, the O-line coach, does a great job of just letting us know what to do and how things need to be done with the O-line. So it's been great.
Through 3 weeks, it seems like the offensive line, particularly in the running game, is really flourishing. Like they're just moving bodies in front of them. Can you just tell us a little bit about kind of what you've seen from this offensive line group in the ground game thus far?
Yeah, just the mentality. Coach Doege will tell you the same thing. Those guys just have that mentality, that just let's go, let's put the ball down and let's go mentality, and it's been great. Those guys are hard workers, which is, if it's the ones, the twos, everybody in that O-line room has that mentality of I just want to get out there and play football, and it's been great working with those guys.
Now, you also are a player that took a step up in competition into the Big 12 this season. How has that been? I know that like this level, we were talking a little bit off show about how this bye week is a little different for you guys. You know, you said that Brent Brennan really has you guys working on getting better in the bye week, not just resting. It's a part of it, but it's development focused. So is that part of what's different about that level of competition? And can you kind of let us into what that transition's been like for you?
Yeah, it's been a great transition. Just yeah, like you said, it's just working. You can't rest because the level of play is a lot different from where I came from. Everybody's good in this level, so you can't rest. You got to go out there. Even in the bye week, we're grinding, we're working like it's game week. Like we got a game on Saturday. We've been practicing real hard and stuff like that. So you can't rest in this, especially in the Big 12. You can't rest because it's always like Coach Brennan said, it come down to those final 8 minutes of football, and that's where teams win, and that's what we're preparing for and getting ready for. So it's been great.
What are some of the key talking points that Coach Brennan is bringing to the table in terms of trying to develop this team further in the bye week?
Yeah, it's just what's your edge? We have a bye week this week, and are you doing the unrequired? Are you doing the extra? Are you doing the little things, getting in the meeting room, or are you just laying in your bed and playing the video game, staying up all night? What's your edge? Because everybody in this conference is good, and everybody in this conference can play football. So we got to do the little things to separate us from every other team in the Big 12. So because Brendan's been preaching, what's your edge? Are you doing the unrequired? And then when it comes to practice, are you redlining everything? Are you just walking up practice, walking on and off the field? So he's pushing us just to get us in that mindset of, you got to compete in this level. So
yeah, every team is a serious team for sure, and the next team is Iowa State, who I believe as of right now is at the top of the standings in the Big 12 conference. Any extra motivation to take down a team that's number 12 in the country, that's leading the conference right now, or just any other game?
I'll say a little bit of both. We're excited, where they ranked at and stuff like that. And obviously, at the end of the day, it's just another team. We can't look too high on them and stuff like that. We just got to prepare like it's any other game, because we got to go out there and just prepare. It doesn't change it different. They're a football team. We got to go out there and play them. So.
And in talking about preparation, you spoke to us and me and Damon at Media Day this year about wanting to show off your home run ability, right? And I know that you showed off maybe a couple home runs, maybe even a grand slam against K-State, right? But do you feel like you've shown that off even just a little bit so far? And how can you be even better going forward? What can Arizona Wildcats fans expect going forward this season from you?
Yeah, I think I showcased that a little bit. I wish I had that one run back. It was early in the game. I had to get a little used to my legs a little bit. But if it was later in the game, I probably would have took it to the house. But I'm ready to go. I got back in my rhythm. I had an injury early on and early on in the season. That's out the window. So now I'm ready to get out there and really play some football. So.
One of those home run plays, they kind of showed a replay to us, Ish, and on that replay, you were giving the dude the hand. You were kind of getting trying to, mask his eyes. It seemed like, looked like maybe you were saying something to him. What was going on there?
That player, he was talking smack all game. Me and him were going at it, knowing that I was getting to the second level, and he's the safety, so he's the last man of defense, and he was talking smack all game. So we were just battling, just playing football, competing, just talking back and forth, and I just letting him know,
Was the hand a little bit of a distraction?
Yeah, just letting him know that the stick farmer's coming. Don't get too close.
Love it. And another thing that I actually was really impressed by, at least in one particular play, I remember you picking up a blitz and getting involved in some pass pro. Just how important is that aspect of a game to a running back in terms of being able to get on the field even more? And how do you feel your development in pass protection has gone?
Yeah, that's very important. Like I know y'all heard Coach Alonzo Carter say his mantra is no block, no rock, and we live by that. We die by that in the running back room. If you can't block, you're not gonna get on the field. So I take that very to heart. And Coach Carter and Coach Lyle's been doing a great job of just teaching me the little things, the techniques of just blitz pickup and pass pro and stuff like that. So I'm really getting to the next step of that, and I think I'm doing a really good job, like y'all seen on Saturday, picking up the blitz.
And, also, the defenses in the Big 12 have been on another level to start the season. I know a lot of them haven't played the highest level of competition, right? But when you look around the conference, what do you see with the Big 12 defensive level? You're in it. You're running through these defenses. Can you break it down just a little bit more technically? What are the differences between like a Sun Belt defense and a Big 12 defense?
I just think the talent level is talent everywhere. It's just not just in the Sun Belt. It's just like one or two players. In the Big 12, is everybody's really good. The D line, the safeties, everybody is a high caliber player. So I'll say that's the difference, that you can't look down anybody. Even the subs, the people that come in after the starters are tired. Those guys are really good. So you got to just stay on your toes the whole game. No matter who gets in the game, everybody's good. So I think that's the difference.
Yeah, you mentioned kind of the subs there, and I don't really want to call anybody a sub in this running back room because it feels like it's very much been like a committee of where everyone's getting a very equal share. Obviously, Ricino has been out the last couple weeks, so that's toned down, but we still expect him to get a good share of the ball when he's playing. Like, just what is it like being in such a talented running back room where everybody is trusted to get the football?
Man, it's great. Just compete. It's great because at practice we're competing like every day. It's like fall camp. Everybody's trying to make plays. We all love each other, but at the end of the day, there's only one running back to get on the field. So it just makes us work a lot harder at practice. Practice is like game time for us because everybody's trying to get on the field and the coaches are evaluating every practice. It's like I said, it's like training camp. So just competing with those guys just been unbelievable. It just made me a way better football player than where I've been in my career. It's been real great. Like y'all said, we had to start it each week, each game this season so far. So that just goes to show you what type of running back room we have.
Yeah, and another, we talk about obviously you, Quincy Craig, Kedrick Ricino, and kind of like the three-headed monster there, but Wesley Yarbrough has looked pretty dang good in his time. Is that at all surprising to anybody that's in that room with him?
I don't think that's surprising. Anybody in the running back room would tell you that's not surprising. He just had to, he came later in the summer, so he didn't really know the playbook. But just seeing him run during tempos, during summer workouts, just seeing him move, lift weights, we already knew he was a freak athlete. He just needed to learn the playbook, and I'm excited for that kid and what he could do in the future.
Now, when you enter into such a deep running back room that has so much competition and so much talent, I think a casual fan would look at a player like you moving up into the Big 12, moving up into a team that had a poor season last year like Arizona, and assume that you are going to be the number one guy carrying the ball, and this is the Ismail Mahdi show. Was that an impact on your decision on a positive extent to say, hey, I'm going into this room where I know I'm going to be tested every day? Or do you really just want to prove yourself at this level? Did the level of competition is my question. Did that play any part in your choice to choose Arizona?
It was both. Just in the NFL, you got to compete for a job. It's not easy. You're not just gonna come in there as a rookie and go ahead and give you your starting job. So just getting ready for that, just knowing that I have to compete for a spot. Nobody's gonna give me a spot, and then obviously just playing at a high level, showing the NFL scouts that I could go out and compete with the best of the best, and that played a big part of it as well. So a little bit of both.
How are you and Kedrick Ricino and Quincy Craig different from one another? Explain the different skill sets and how you guys complement each other.
Yeah, so Kedrick, Kedrick's a bigger guy. He's going to bulldoze you and run through you, and he has speed as well, too. And then Quincy Craig is just versatile. He can get down the slot and do it all. He's a bigger guy. He can run fast. And then me, I'm just a scat back home run hitter. I could get physical if I need to get physical, but I'm a run past you and stuff like that. So everybody has their little bits and pieces that coaches could work with. Ish, go ahead and go get the screen. Ked Ricino, go get this 31. Just little things like that. Everybody have their situation, but we all could play. Like you said, like I said earlier, we all started the game this season. So anybody go out there and play all three downs.
And then we'll get you out of here on a couple Seth Doege related / coaching related questions because coach is coming up in a couple minutes here. First of all, how excited are you to fight for these Wildcat hand signal stickers that now go on the helmets? And then secondly, more seriously, what has it been like playing under Seth Doege so far this season? What is the Seth Doege offense like for the running back?
First of all, for the stickers, I think that's a pretty cool deal. that makes everybody go even harder just to have those stickers on your helmet, and everybody can see them. Like, oh, dang, Ish, you got a lot of stickers. Yeah, I've been working, stuff like that. I've been having red line every day I practice. I've been having red line in the game just to show that. And then playing the Seth Doege offense has been truly amazing, man. That guy he's a genius. We call him Chef Doege every time he comes in our room because he's chefing something up. He's a great OC, and then even better, he's a great human being. He motivates us every day at practice, after practice, just letting us know, just keep our edge. Nothing is given to us. He picked every single one of us, and he knew that, that we had some type of talent, and he believed in us. And that guy, he does an amazing job with the offense and stuff like that, putting skilled players in the positions to make plays. Does a great job with the quarterbacks, and he's just a great coach. I'm just so thankful that I get the opportunity to be with him and play for him.
I'm sorry, this is a little bit back to the last question, but did you lead the team in stickers last week?
I did. I think I did. Noah right behind me.
Yeah, that seems fair. Yeah. And maybe like throw in like Genesis or Deshaun McKnight as well, some of the top performing defenders, because that defense is nasty right now. What's it like watching that on the sideline? Like the energy level that these guys have, and how they're just swarming to the football right now through 3 weeks.
Yeah, we were just talking about that in the running back room, just watching those guys ball out. Like, even when coach is talking to us, like we're on the sideline and coach is telling us about the previous job, we're getting up there and getting excited because we see it on the home screen. We're like, dang, Max Harris just made a play. Like, it's so exciting just to get fired up for those guys. And Coach Gonzalez is doing a great job just scheming those guys up, putting those guys in the right position. And we got a talented defense. I love playing with those guys. And then even that, they're making us better at practice. Going against that defense every day, it's just awesome.
It is. And also, like we said with the stickers, I'm sure you're going to have a lot more stickers in your future this season. He is Arizona running back Ismail Mahdi, who absolutely balled out versus Kansas State, won Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week behind the big beef of the week, the Arizona offensive line.
And may I say, also told us off air, Tucson Mexican food much is better and more authentic than Texas Mexican food.
That's on wax.
That's for the Tucson people in the chat.
Yes, and the chat loves you, by the way. Our guy Finn Man has been screaming for us to get you on the pod all season, and here you are. So this is huge for him, huge for Deborah Owens, huge for the rest of our chat. So we appreciate you for popping on today, Ismail Mahdi.
Of course. Thanks for having me, guys. Bear down.
Yeah, bear down. Thanks, Ish. Great talking to Arizona running back. I want to say like starting running back, but it's like so we talked about in the interview. We have like 3 starting running backs on this squad right now, and they've all proven to different extents that they deserve a ton of playing time, right? I mean, Ismail Mahdi probably has the marquee game, just given that it was against Kansas State, given that he had the most yardage of any FBS player against an FBS team, I believe, so far this season. But Quincy Craig obviously had an unbelievable week 1 against Hawaii there. Kedrick Reesano looked great in the first week. And, it just he's been sitting out, I think, for precautionary reasons more so. Because I think that they believe that these guys can handle it.
Clearly.
If Ismail Mahdi needs to get, 8 more carries today because Kedrick Reesano is not available, clearly Seth Doege and Alonzo Carter and company feel very comfortable doing so.
Yeah, and I do want to hit a break here on the AZ Wildcats podcast. We're going to keep breaking down that interview right up until the second that Seth Doege joins this stream here. It's the AZ Wildcats podcast. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. And man, Damon, after yesterday, which was an incredible day, but albeit a long day, when I got home, I needed to unwind. And you all know me. My go-to unwind of choice is Pure Edibles. And now I recently partook in some Pure Edibles, like I said last night, and I was using that unwind vibe that they have on the outside of their tins, because each effect is clearly labeled on each edible tin, so you know exactly what kind of effect you're getting into. If you want to uplift, if you want to have some laughs, have some energy, or if you want to take a nap, they have all the different vibes for you. And this is not just like an edible company. This is literally a full-fledged candy company that just so happens to do really fun stuff like make edibles with CBN, CBG, CBD, and marijuana-derived THC, all of our favorites. And if you want to go find yourself some Pure Edibles products from one of the over 130 dispensaries in the Freedom State of Arizona, 130 dispensaries in this here great state dispense Pure Edibles. Go check them out.
Go check out Pure Edibles. Kevin, you indulged in some Pure Edibles after a long day yesterday. And me, myself, I stopped at America's Thirst Stop on my way home because my fuel light was on and I was at 0 miles, unfortunately. Ooh. But that's the great thing about Circle K. I know that there is one around every single corner, nook and cranny in this entire city and the entire metropolitan area, the entire state, because Circle Ks are everywhere in Arizona. They're all over the country, really, but, you know, we're an Arizona podcast. We reside here. I love our friends at Circle K, man. I went in, I grabbed a quick Polar Pop, Kevin, which, of course, I got for 79 cents because I'm a member of the Inner Circle Rewards membership program. But I also was like, I don't even know how it happened. I always go inside because I have a gas card as well. And I stack that with my Inner Circle membership. So I save about 15 cents off per gallon every time I go in. Somehow, Kevin, it was 35 cents off per gallon cheaper when I went back out to the, and I didn't even understand why, but I didn't complain. I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to say, you know what? Circle K, the savings are right in front of my face. And with the Inner Circle Rewards membership, I saved even more. Join the Inner Circle for free. Download the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit circlek.com for details. It's so easy to sign up, guys. You literally just download a free app, plug in a password, choose a password, plug in an email.
When I first got down here, I literally did it at the pump while I was getting Circle K gas. And by the time the pump was done filling up my car, I was an Inner Circle member. And the next time I went, I got those 25 cents off per gallon. But before we continue breaking down this interview, before we talk to Seth Doege, I wanted to extend a heartfelt thank you to each and every one of you guys in this chat and each and every one of you guys that tuned in yesterday for our live at McHale Arizona Men's Basketball Media Day Showcase show. Genuinely, we appreciate the love and support on these interviews. The reception has been really good, and that's what me and Damon strive for, is to give you all the information from these people that you guys actually want to hear. So, yeah, heartfelt thank you. And if you want us to keep doing more and have more access to these players, please become a member, an MVP member in our chat, and have the power like our guy Max and like our guy Harvey Manfred Jensen. Oh, that's an emoji. Actually, I lied, Harvey. You're not an MVP member. You should be an MVP member, but you're not. Why is that? Why is that? Why are you not like our guy Max, who threw the PHNX Wildcats hand signal in the chat? Because he is an MVP member and has that elite status. I just wanted to give a shout out to all of you guys and ask if you do want to show some love and support for the show. That is a great way to do it.
Absolutely, Kevin. And yesterday's show was an absolute bucket list thing for me and Kevin, doing the show at McHale Center, talking to so many Arizona basketball players. Just unparalleled, great access, very similar to our spring showcase show. And just basketball version, man, and it was incredible. Kevin, is that your coup de grace of shows if you had to pick one?
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, is that the ultimate coup de grace show? And I was like, nah, the national championship for either sport.
The Natty post game is the coup de grace.
And also, we didn't have Tommy on yesterday, and that was that would have been personal bucket list number 1 to interview Tommy Lloyd.
It'll happen someday.
Yeah, it's not a matter of if, but when. But we didn't really know if maybe you did, and I was just naive to it. I didn't know what the situation was, whether coaches would be at the media day or not. So it was kind of up in the air for me mentally. But I was like, this is an opportunity for it to happen. But yeah, that would have been like the ultimate. It can't get better than this moment.
Yeah, Alec, I appreciate it, brother, but I will say that my hero is Malik Washington and his over tonight, and it's me and you. It's me and you, because we're locked in. That we'll take that off air later. But Kevin, what did you think about Ismail Mahdi's performance, or not performance, but I guess interview with us? Like, what were your just main takeaways? I love what Sam said. Like, he just seems excited to talk about some Arizona football. Like, he just eats, sleeps, breathes football, and I love the positivity. Just a smile on his face all the time.
Yeah, I think that was a huge takeaway. Like, during every question, he's sitting there smiling at us, waiting to see what we have to ask him. And I think that's kind of the energy that he gives off. He's a very, excited dude, positive guy, it seems like. That was one of my takeaways. So shout out to Sam Alberts for bringing that up in the chat as well. But I think just overall, the level of effort that's going into this year's team from the coaching staff, the level of commitment that the players and the coaches have to winning this year seems dramatically higher than it was last year. And I'm not saying that Brent Brennan wasn't committed to winning last year, but I am saying that maybe he didn't set himself up for success with other people around him that were as committed as he was.
Yeah.
Right. And I think this year he has that in Denny Gonzalez. He has that in Seth Doege. He has that in Joe Salavea. He has that in Chuck Cecil. And then it extends down to the entire roster. Right. And so I think you're seeing an emotional shift in the coaching staff that has extended into a motivational shift for the players. And I think Ismail Mahdi as an incoming transfer is a really good embodiment of that, because you don't smell any of the stink from last year on Ismail Mahdi. he smells like spring flowers and rainbows. You know what I mean? Because this new coaching staff has gotten him in a position to where it doesn't look at anything like last year. We're not even thinking about, this offense last year that looked really, really bad. We're thinking about this offense this year that has looked pretty good, has some room to improve, but the versatility is there and it's entertaining, and the motivation that every time they're on the field, they're trying to score points is there. So I think that's what jumped off the screen to me. The tonal shift from the team as a whole that Ismail Mahdi really embodied right there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great way of putting it. And it seems like they tried to really personality hire, for lack of a better term, this offseason. Like,
vibes guy with great talent.
It was very much was like, it was like when Saul Bookman brought me into this company for the first time. They had a PHNX Suns post-game show that night. He calls me on the phone. He goes, while I was like trying to make this connection to work here, he calls me on the phone and he says, hey, my friend Paula says that, you could be a good fit at this company. And I was like, yeah, I would love that. And then he was like, cool. Well, what are you doing right now? And so I went into the office, I talked to him, I hung out for a PHNX Suns post-game show, chilled with the people, and then they were like, cool, let's bring him on. It feels like that's kind of what they did, a similar situation here. Like, hey, let's get Ismail Mahdi in a room full of all these players and be like, does he vibe? Does he vibe with the people? Because every single one of these people that is a new addition to this team, this roster, this coaching staff, just good vibes all the way around. And we got another one that will be with us shortly here in a second as Seth Doege is getting ready to go to talk to the AZ Wildcats podcast here. But before we do so, Kevin, I would just like to say that I think that this running back room is like it really could be a driving factor for this entire season. I think through 3 games, your keys to the game has had some semblance of establishing the ground game in every single sense, right? And we've seen that too. We've seen the ground game get established. Last season, Noah Fafita was in a very one-dimensional offense where, it felt like they were passing constantly. And it was allowed teams to kind of, put a lot of people back in coverage and sit back, right? Now this year, if you can continue to establish this ground game, it keeps defenses on their toes so much more. And I really do think that could be one of the main keys of this entire season.
It really could be. And we've talked about it with Chef Doege, as Ismail Mahdi calls him at times. But we've talked about how like his versatility as a play caller is enhanced when he has like the tools to be versatile, right? And this roster that he has, you have speed, you have playmaking, you have explosiveness, you have power mixed in there. It feels like he has all the ingredients to cook up something really intriguing this year. Ismail Mahdi being one of those points. And I think the running game, you saw it at Marshall, really helps out his passing game as well. And when you have a quarterback like Noah Fafita, the running game is just as important as Noah Fafita passing the ball, because you can't have too much pressure on Noah Fafita. Not like he can't handle it, but it's not really fair to the guy to expect him to do everything and be Superman. So without further ado, we do have Arizona offensive coordinator Seth Chef Doege joining the AZ Wildcats podcast. How are we doing today, Coach?
What's going on, fellas?
How are we feeling about that Chef Doege moniker? I mean, Ismail Mahdi was telling us that everybody is just calling you that all around the facility. So how's that going?
There must be a kid thing because nobody said anything to me. You know what I mean? It must be one of those locker room things where they're sitting there clowning me the entire time. But they won't say it.
Sorry to cut you off. I was going to say, at least it was like a complimentary nickname that we told you that the team was calling you, as opposed to something else that we might have got Ismail in trouble for. But at least it was a good nickname. Chef is a good thing. You're cooking it up,
Yeah, they're good kids, man. They give me a hard time all the time. I mean, Chris Hunter does a great job of impersonating me, so he does it all the time. So they give me a hard time all the time.
Like, what does that entail? Like, what's he saying in his impersonation?
Well, probably some words you probably shouldn't say on live. But he'll get up, I'll have unit meetings all the time. And I guess I say you feel me a lot, and I say dog like a lot, and y'all with me a lot, you know what I mean? So he does a good job.
Love that. Absolutely love that. We've loved what we've seen thus far from the team through 3 games, Coach. And I think a big portion of that has just been the change in offense from last season to this season. So I guess from your perspective, how has the offense looked through 3 games?
I think explosive at times, and then disappointing at times too. I mean, our standard is extremely high. I thought, with the very first game, I felt like we could have scored 50 points if we utilized the opportunities we have in the low red, and we kind of hurt ourselves there. feel like we had a lull in the second half that I wasn't very pleased with. I felt like we relaxed when I want to set the standard to try to bury people when you have opportunities. And then Weber State, we were really explosive, but again, I felt like we missed some opportunities as well in that game. Again, to have another 50-point game, and then against K State, I felt like we dominated that game the entire time. But again, we got into opportunities to score and kind of hurt ourselves with penalties and false starts and miscommunication, stuff like that, stuff that we get to control and they don't. And I felt like that was disappointing. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm extremely happy to be 3-0, but I do think we can play at even a higher standard on offense.
Yeah, what kind of would you attribute a lot of those penalties to? You mentioned the holdings, the false starts, kind of once you got into enemy territory. And from your perspective, and being so close to everything going on, what do you think what would you attribute that to?
My mindset is one penalty is too many penalties, and it's almost an unrealistic standard. But I want that to be the standard because nobody else is doing it. Right, everybody has like, okay, we can have two penalties, and there's statistics and analytics of like how many penalties you can actually have. Well, my standard is zero, and so one penalty is too many penalties. Now, with that being said, like there's some grace there because you're going to get a holding because you're playing hard and the ball bounces in a direction you're not expecting it to bounce. Like that's just football. And if a guy's playing really hard and he's engaged, well, I guess that's going to happen, right? And you can't really fault the kid for playing hard and then, like I said, the ball kind of bouncing or getting to a position where he's not expecting it to be, and we're not coaching it to be. It just happens that way. But then there's the penalties of fatigue, and then the lack of fundamentals and details in what your job assignment is, which I felt like kind of hurt us at K State. Like I didn't think it was anything that football necessarily got us to. It was more we got tired in the end of drives, like long drives, get into the low red, and then all of a sudden give up a holding because we dropped our kick foot on our pass set. You know what I mean? Are we getting the low red and KD and Noah are on different pages on a cadence? Something like that, where it's like, man, we just got to be detailed when we get tired because down there they're tired too. It's just at this point it's just a mentality and who does their job better. And so like that we got to eliminate that. I think that just comes with training. We got to continue to train that. And so we've done some things in practice to try to put those guys in those positions where they're basically like they can't breathe. You get in the low red, can you still do your job? And so we just got to fix that. Everybody be intentional and demanding on that. But I do think we'll fix it. And it's not. I don't think it's obviously, I don't think it's a lack of talent. I don't think it's a lack of like we're not trying to get better on it. I think it's just we got to put our guys in those type of positions and practice more. So we're constantly working on it and it being an intentional thing that we're trying to fix.
Does it give you more confidence that some of the issues that the offense has had so far have seemed pretty solvable? Like it doesn't seem like from a fan's perspective any of the issues are existential, right? Does that give you extra confidence that this season could be what you expected it to be coming in?
I mean, I believe in our kids. I believe in our coaches. Uh, again, my standards almost unrealistic. I think, if you ask my wife, she's probably tired of hearing me talk about the negatives when there's so many positives. I think Coach Brennan's probably tired of me talking about frustrations when we've had some really good stuff on tape. And I want our kids to know that I'm extremely proud of them and I'm extremely confident in what they're capable of doing. But also, like I said, I don't think we've hit the standard of play that we're capable of playing yet. Like it goes back to the K State game. Like we dominated that game, and we had a few lulls in between the game. Especially in the third quarter. We put up 400 like plus yards of offense. We should have scored 30 plus points against a really really good defense. Like I know like the perception of K State right now may be down, but they're really good on defense. And we if we hit, there was a crossing route that we threw a little bit behind Nunu that probably he should have still caught, but it was a little bit behind. There was a couple seam balls that we didn't connect on. If we connect on two or three of those, I mean it is a blowout, right? We were two or three plays away of being really, 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 really impressive on offense. And I'm just, as an OC, I don't want to walk out of a game being like, oh, okay, well, it's okay. We were close. I want to address it every time like there's something not right, and I feel like we've done that since we've gotten here, even in practice. Like we never walk off of the field being like, okay, like we'll get it next time, guys. You know what I mean? Like let's just keep working. Now it's like, okay, listen, that wasn't the standard of what we expect to play at. We got to fix it. And we got to fix it in a hurry. But I am proud of the way our guys are playing. I think they're playing extremely, extremely hard. We just got a few details we got to clean up so we can be one of the better offenses in the country for sure.
And if you are going to be one of the better offenses in the country, I'm sure you're going to need a lot of production from your wide receiver core, right? And what have you made of your wide receiver core thus far? I know that there isn't really at this time, no one's really taken the mantle of number one receiver, right? And that might not be the case at all this year, right, with the talent that you have. But what's your evaluation of your receivers through 3 games so far?
Yeah, I feel like there's guys that have made some like big time plays, and then there's like just like we talked about, there's some times where I feel like there's some plays that we need to make as well. And you would like to see, a few guys really kind of stand out. Like Nunu kind of took over the Weber State game, but I felt like he had some opportunities at K State that we expect him to make. And just for whatever reason, like we missed him, or it just didn't work out that game. I don't think it was a lack of effort. I don't think it was a lack of intention. It was just one of those games that just wasn't his best. You know what I mean? And we need him to be at his best. I'd like to see Chris Hunter's just now getting back from some injuries, so he's trying to get back into the rhythm that he was at in camp. We haven't seen Chris Hudson yet. He was big time for us in camp, so I expect him to kind of continue to come on. But it was good these first couple of weeks to see like Gio and Mizell get in the game and have some success as true freshmen, because we're going to need those guys, and they're very talented. So the future is bright with those guys, but we're going to need them this year. And then overall, like obviously Luke has made some plays, Phelps has made some plays. Overall, I feel very confident that we can just rotate those guys no matter who's in the game. And we're always going to have a chance to be explosive at that position. And Bobby does a great job of managing that. And all those guys know, that obviously the goal is to win and to score points. So we don't have, it's the first time, knock on wood so far, we haven't had some real issues in that room of like, man, I ain't getting the touches, I'm not getting the targets, blah, blah, blah. Those guys are bought into the process of what we're trying to do, and they know, they take an extreme accountability for the mistakes that we've made, but also, I feel like they're all confident that they can be the guy. And I'm expecting some of those guys to really separate, through Big 12 play. We need that, and like I said, I think there's a lot of guys in that room that are capable of doing that.
I want to take this from the wide receivers to the tight end room for a second. Obviously Josh Miller being your guy who you kind of brought in along here, and then you lose Tyler Powell like basically on the first play of the entire season, right? And now it's you're one man down, a guy that you expected to play a huge role in this offense. How have you think that the tight ends have stepped up, I guess, in Tyler Powell's absence, and what should we expect from that group rest of the way?
Yeah, I feel bad for TP just because of how hard he worked. Like I think you've heard this before, but we talked about him being the most improved player since we all got here. He's worked extremely hard to become who he was, and then to not really get the opportunity to showcase that is extremely disappointing for him and disappointing for us. So we're frustrated for him, but I know he's been such a great teammate since that. That's another thing that I should mention. Like our guys are such good teammates. Even Chris Hudson and Stooks, like some of the defensive guys that aren't playing right now, they're like freaking warriors on the sideline, like encouragement warriors. Been so good, and that's just a tribute to the culture that we're building. But from a tight end standpoint, I feel like Sam Olsen has really played well. I think he's had some, he had a drop in the end zone, but like for what he's doing and how he's doing it, man, I've really thought he's bought into Coach Miller's coaching and like the standard that he's setting. And so I've really been pleased with Sam. Key's coming back from a fall camp injury, so he's trying to get back into a rhythm of playing. So I'd like to see that continue to grow. And then Cam has come such a long ways from where he was when we first got him in the spring that we actually feel like confident in putting him out on the field. And so I think those guys are getting better. We're going to need those guys, all three of those guys, to come through for us because, for us to be able to run the ball effectively, you got to play with the tight end. And I think I've said this before, but I don't want to just have a tight end that you don't have to worry about catching a ball ever. I want that guy to have some type of value in the pass game, and I think all three of those guys bring that value.
And also, I know you've talked a little bit about this, but I would love if you could expand a little further on what you've seen from Noah Fafita's non-conference play so far. And could you, as a quarterback yourself, could you give us a little bit of a window as a viewing fan to what can lead to some certain inconsistencies, right? He looked like Superman in the first half against K-State, but there were some struggles in the second half. So can you kind of give us a window into what might be happening there and what your evaluation of Fafita is so far?
Well, first of all, I think Noah's like extremely, extremely talented. The fact that he's using his feet now is added another element to his game. I think it makes him extremely dangerous. If I'm a opposing defensive coordinator now, there might be certain coverages that don't play, especially on third down, knowing that he can hurt you with his legs. And then obviously with the +1 run game, knowing that he can make a guy miss. I know his first touchdown against K-State on the quarterback counter. The same guy that's tackled Mahdi in space, the same guy that tackled Q in space. They were really good tacklers in the back end. He made miss. Like it was an ugly miss too. So he's got some real ability there. But I also want him to be smart with his legs and not take unnecessary hits. Now, when it comes to unnecessary hits, I do think he has unique feel for space and awareness that he doesn't have to take those. Like I think that's the hardest thing to evaluate with any position is just space and feel and awareness of like people, right? I think some people don't have awareness, and then you just see those guys getting smacked all the time. Where Noah has just great feel of where people are, and so he can avoid like major hits. But from an evaluation for his first 3 games, I thought his eyes were fast in the first game. I thought he was trying to do too much, and I think that kind of limited him in the pass game. But also, like what people don't understand is like we had some protection issues. We had some major busts at wideout, but we're not going to talk about that like right after the game, right? And Noah's just going to take accountability for it. Like he may look on TV that he completely missed the guy. Well, how did you know he didn't? The guy didn't run the wrong route. You know what I mean? And so there's some stuff like that going on, but the greatest thing about Noah is he's taking extreme accountability, and it's like, okay, so what? I got to make it right, and that's what makes him special. And then Weaver, I thought he played extremely confident. He's very explosive, obviously. And then, like you talked about in K State, I feel like going in, or like you said, going into the or coming out of the second half, we were throwing the ball very efficiently. I think the 2-minute drive. We missed some throws. We didn't connect on some things. I think he made a great check. Like I said, the crossing route to Nunu that he threw like slightly behind him. That was a check on Noah. Noah made that check. We walked through that check, but we never practiced that check, and it was the perfect check. And if he completes that ball, it's probably a 50-yard play. And so we had some inside fades that I felt like the times where we won, we were maybe a little bit late with the ball, but the times that he put it on the money, we didn't catch it. So there was like some of that going on too. It was just like one of those nights. It's like when he's on, we didn't make the catch, but when he was off, we were open, right? And it's just we got to figure out how to make that consistent because he is playing at a pretty high level, especially with his legs. And I think he's extremely confident. Like I said, he's made some checks that I didn't call, right? I called a play knowing like, okay, if we get this, we'll run it. But if we don't, you got to get us into this play. Well, he's done that a couple times. That's extremely impressive. And that's without me telling him what to do. Headsets off. I can't talk to him. He's getting us in the right play and giving us a chance to have success. And like that to me is high level. And so he's doing a good job. I think if you ask him, it could be better, obviously. He wants to be a very efficient thrower, which he is. Like if you go through our fall camp statistics, he was probably right around 74% through camp. Very efficient with a low interception ratio. So he's being very smart with the ball, and he was very explosive. And that's against a defense right now that's kind of choking people out. So I know we're capable of throwing the ball very efficiently. We just gotta go out there and do it. We got to go prove it. And that's just, it's going to get tougher, right? The defenses that we're going to play, like Iowa State's defense is really, really good. And they play a schematic front and a back end that makes it really tough to find space. So we got to be very efficient on how we do things and how we throw the football and how we could catch it and get open, all that stuff. It all matters. But I think Noah's playing at a really high level. I think there's more. There's more about him. I think he has the ability to really, really be special with his arm. And as soon as we start connecting like that, I think we can be dangerous.
You mentioned a little bit about Iowa State there, and I'm just kind of curious to your evaluation of them, because I thought it was really interesting you mentioning that Kansas State's tape was really tough to kind of sift through. Just given the fact that they played in a rain game with such heavy sets, North Dakota plays heavy sets, Army's a triple option team. Like, what have you seen from Iowa State's defense that you're looking to maybe take into this next game?
Well, it's a little bit easier from like a breakdown standpoint because they've ran the same defense for a number of years. The hard part is it's really, really sound and it's really good. Like nobody's had like real like true success. Like you might have had like a game here or a game there where people really got after them, but any other game, it's like, man, it just sometimes you're like scratching your head like, okay, how do we be explosive versus this? You know what I mean? Where's the space at? And you just got to find ways. You got to continue to study it. You got to continue to find the formations and the motions and all that kind of stuff to give you an advantage, and then kind of balance it with what you do well. Not to. I don't think you need to go into the game thinking like you're going to reinvent the offense just for this scheme. You got to do what you do well, like all the reps that we put in fall camp up to this point. But how can we do it that gives us an advantage versus that scheme? Like that's a major challenge for us. I look at I've gone back to 2 years ago watching these guys where OU struggled with them. With Levy and Dylan Gabriel, like they hit some major explosives, but they also struggled at times. And then you look at like teams like TCU a couple years ago when they had some real talent at wideout. Man, they scored like 7 points. It's like, and it's the same scheme. So you got to do a great job of figuring out how you're going to go attack it, and then you got to be really detailed on what you do and how you execute.
And if you do all that, you might get a helmet sticker. Are you in on the helmet stickers? And like, what was your reaction? And is that like a coaching tool for you in a way? Is that like a motivational thing?
I think in today's age, anything that kind of look at me type of thing helps. I'm not too. I mean, I'm into it because it's Arizona football. I'm into it because it's history and tradition. I'm into it because the kids like it. But if it gives a guy an extra boost of confidence, or hey man, a little bit of motivation so I can go get a sticker, man, let's go get some stickers in.
Exactly. I love to hear that. And then also, like, can you clarify a little bit of what the exact process is to get a sticker? Are there certain things you can do to get it, like, explicitly? Is there like a list, or is it just kind of off of vibes?
No, it's a simple list. It's a simple list. Obviously, if we win, um, if we explosive plays like an explosive pass will get you a sticker. That's 15 plus. Explosive run 12 plus. No sacks for the O line, that kind of thing. So, but it's a very simple list. I don't want to make it. Coach Brennan kind of asked me like what I want to do, and I didn't want to make it too I didn't want to make it a million things because that's also a million things you got to grade and do. Like I want to worry about beating Iowa State, not stickers.
Absolutely. I mean,
Man.
I think the most important thing you can get a sticker for is the W, right?
Correct.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like that's the biggest one, right? Like let's go get this W. Everybody gets a sticker.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Even the people that didn't even play. But that's the beauty of it. We love the helmet stickers, me and Kevin, and we're excited to kind of see more and more throughout the season. Is that going to be a thing? That's sticking around on the regular Block A helmet as well, right?
That's right. Yeah, Coach Brennan's made a decision that he's going to bring it back. So the stickers are here to stay.
I'm assuming that also applies to the red alternate helmets as well. Uniform Coach Seth Doege as well.
Yeah, man, I saw it today. I saw the stickers on the red helmet because we were wearing our red helmets today, just getting ready. I think the way it works is, if you have a game where you're going to wear a helmet in a couple of weeks, we don't just put that helmet on like they're in the game. Like you gotta this week would have been, it was a great off week was a great time for us to wear our alternate helmets that we don't normally wear, make sure they fit, make sure there's no things that we need to adjust, it's too tight or doesn't, needs more air, whatever. And so those guys are used to it that time. That way, when it comes to that week, there's no issues.
Yeah, just unbelievable stuff from our guy, Seth Doege. We appreciate you so much, Coach. We went extra long. You were very generous with your time, and we appreciate you, my guy.
No, I always appreciate you guys, man. You guys are awesome. So we appreciate everything you do and how you promote us. I know our kids love you guys, and thanks for everything that you do.
Yeah, means the world, man. We can't wait to have you on next time.
Appreciate you. Bear down, guys.
Bear down. Same outro as our guy Ismail Mahdi.
Indeed. I mean, the culture is real. The culture
line
is extremely real. The red line is real. The accountability is real. You heard it there. Coach Doege also taking accountability for some of the stuff on this offense that hasn't been as pretty as maybe he would like it to be, and maybe as some of the people in the chat would like it to be. But that was absolutely incredible stuff from our guy, Seth Doege. Yet again, another returning guest this week on the Arizona Wildcats podcast, Damon.
Yeah, absolutely. That's his third appearance. We were talking about, I think 4 is that leaderboard. We were talking about a little bit yesterday with, who did I mention it to? Anthony D'Orso, and I believe Tobe Awaka as well. Yes. 2 guys that made their second appearance on the show, recurring guests. And then, of course, now we have Seth Doege at 3. We have Reggie Geary at 4, Genesis Smith at 4. I mean, it is just a fierce competition at the top, Kevin.
It's a fierce competition, and it's only getting more star-studded is what I'm really trying to say. Like it's only becoming a tougher race to get to that, because once you get to like 5, it's one thing if you're Reggie Geary and you pop on in the early days and you're one of the founding guests of the pod, Damon. Mm-hmm. It's another thing to be like Genesis Smith and be approaching upon 5, and then next year's team, how are you even going to catch up to Genesis Smith if he gets to 5, Damon? It's a tough bar to clear.
It really is. It really is. But Kevin, 2 great interviews, 2 phenomenal interviews. We're going to recap both of them here, talk about what Coach Doege had to say on the other side of our final break here on the AZ Wildcats pod.
And since it is break time, I have to talk to you all about our friends over at Rally House, because Rally House is your spot for all your Valley merchandise and Arizona Wildcats merchandise, because as you've heard me say it one time, you've heard me say it 1,000 times. 39 pages of Arizona Wildcats memorabilia for you to scroll through, window shop, and do all of your online memorabilia gaining. For, I guess, online memorabilia maxing for Rally House is the way to go. They have all your memorabilia, whether everything from like cups to dog collars to coasters to jerseys to shirzies to posters to all this kind of stuff. I think I've even seen like board games and puzzles related to your teams at Rally House. It is your one-stop shop for all your sports memorabilia. Find your local Rally House location and shop the entire product assortment online at www.rallyhouse.com right now.
Rally House, our favorite place to get team gear, like this Arizona Diamondbacks jersey that I have on currently. Another company that we love so much, Kevin, is our friends at Branded Bills, because if you need some custom apparel, it is the only place to hit up. We got our promo code for you, BBPHNX, is going to get you 15% off your first order at brandedbills.com. And guys, whether you have like a law office, maybe a kickball team, maybe you just like to, you want to go to Disneyland or something and wear some shirts with the fam. If you need some custom apparel, Branded Bills is the only place to go. They got the beanies, the truckers, the fitteds, the snapbacks, even t-shirts. But of course, we all know that they are also the one-stop shop when it comes to Arizona Wildcats hats. They have the campus collection, Kevin, which is so near and dear to our hearts. I actually, I took a picture of the campus collection at the bookstore yesterday. Kevin, I'm going to have you go put this on screen for us right now. I'm going to airdrop this to you. What an absolute, just throne of beautiful hats here in that they have at the Arizona bookstore. Unbelievable stuff going on over there at Branded Bills. I have this Branded Bills on right now. They don't oftentimes do a ton of work with the Arizona Diamondbacks, but they did a special edition Arizona Diamondbacks golf hat that they gave to season ticket holders. I have some connections, so I was able to get one, but it is a beautiful hat as well. We love it so much. Campus collection, go check it out today. The ultimate Arizona Wildcats hats in the entire business. And like I said, we're going to bring this up on screen here in just a second. They are unbelievable. Head to brandonbills.com and use our code of BBPHNX, get 15% off that first order.
And we will get to the Brandon Bills campus collection because I do want to talk about that. But I do want to debrief the Seth Doege interview a little bit as well, Damon. What were some of your biggest takeaways from that Seth Doege interview?
I think it's what Sam says here. It's always how I feel whenever I interview Seth Doege is I'm just sitting here like this the entire time, Kevin. Just
feet in the air.
I don't know what to say other than, I would run through a brick wall for him. That guy he's changed my entire life.
What did you say there at the end? I'm worried about beating Iowa State. I'm not worried about no damn stickers. Something 100%. Like that. I mean, that was awesome.
That part of it was funny. You could tell he's very much like he doesn't care about the stickers.
No, this is not a Seth Doege project.
Mike Leach wasn't getting stickers out for Texas Tech wins back in the day, and I think Seth Doege would say you keep that sticker back in those days, but. Like he said, like he's about it because Arizona football is about it. The kids are about it, and if they love it and it makes them want to play harder and perform even better, then I think that it's obviously just a positive thing. But also, I do want to say, Kevin, I know we got to debrief this interview, but I want to do this before I forget. Harvey Manfred Jensen.
Oh my God!
Became a supporting member during the Seth Doege interview. And I don't want to just let that just fly in the wind.
We can't.
Kevin.
We can't. Absolutely
Unbelievable
can't.
stuff. Drop those Wildcat hand signals in the chat for us. Show everybody why you have that badge of honor.
Do it. But not only the Wildcat hand signal, I have breaking news. We woo. Breaking news from GM Espo. He says we have a new supporters badge that says bear down because in part of our guy Harvey Manfred Jensen joining the members club. It's simple as that. Join the members club. We get enough members. We get more emotes. We get more stuff like this. It's a great way to support the show if you do love the work that we're doing over here, Damon. And like you said, I'm ready to run through a wall for Seth Doege. I'm ready to run through a wall for the helmet stickers if it will get me one. And like Kobe says, so we're definitely wearing the red helmets. Already assumed so because Iowa State is wearing all white. Seth Doege breaking news here on the AZ Wildcats podcast.
Yeah, Iowa State going white out for this upcoming game. They kind of had that one circled on their calendar. I know my guy Kobe coined this term. Are we Iowa State's Super Bowl?
I did see that tweet.
It kind of feels like it right now. Coming off the back of, we know ALLCITY is not their Super Bowl, Kevin, which I have then stolen. The Iowa State game from here on forth will be known as ALLCITY, and everyone else is free to use that as well. But it seems like Arizona's going to be going with red on the road. Road Reds.
It does seem like the Road Reds are coming to town, Damon. I'm excited for it. I'm interested to see how but drop your Bear Down Supporters Club stickers in the chat. I'm interested to see how the Wildcat stickers look on the red helmet. It should look beautiful. It should look absolutely beautiful. And I'm glad that they're already integrating those. And I'm also glad we have an explicit list of what you need to do to get those stickers so that I can go out there and get some stickers.
Yeah. I mean, should we start doing that after every podcast? Like, we
put them back here.
That's segment 4. We debrief our show and live in front of everybody. I go, Kevin, I really thought that first segment performance was going to be sticker worthy, but unfortunately, you kind of dropped the ball a little bit.
You fumbled the ad read.
Damon, you did have a couple stickers, and then you forgot your question to Mo Krivas. And now I think I'm going to take a couple stickers away, actually.
Oh, no. We're revoking stickers. Get the adhesive removal out of here, Damon. I am not about taking stickers away from my Damon dog. That's not what we're doing. He earned those stickers. But no, in all seriousness, it was also really nice to hear Coach Doege talk about the offensive line struggles and some of the actual technical things as to why that might be happening to the Arizona Wildcats, the kick feet and things like that. You can listen to it in the interview there as well. Don't listen to me, listen to Coach Doege. But he was talking about that offensive line technique and how it's going to improve throughout the season, putting them in positions to not let fatigue get the best of their technique. And I think that that's kind of what you and his answer matched my eye test is what I'm trying to say, right? It felt like you get down in the red zone and you just run out of gas, right? So I love to hear that they're putting them through the trenches in practice to make sure they're tired when they get into the deep red zone and that they can actually execute their game plan when they get into scoring opportunities, because you cannot, against teams like Iowa State, cannot have your offensive line backing you up 5 yards, 10 yards every couple plays in the red zone against a team as good defensively as Iowa State is.
No, yeah, it's debilitating. And against a better team like Iowa State, it would probably be the difference between a win and a loss. So totally have to take that with the utmost sincerity, Kevin, and really take it to heart. That being said, I did find his point about like a lot of times it's about guys that are maybe just a little too, like playing a little bit too intense at times. You know what I mean? Like, and I think we saw that with Rhino.
That Rhino clothesline.
Yeah,
bro.
the Rhino clothesline for sure. But I was more thinking of the play where Noah Fafita scrambled out in between Rhino in the guard, and then Rhino was holding on for a half second too long, and then the Kansas State player puts his hands back, and it's so obvious that it's a hold. But really, it was a great block until Noah Fafita ran past the blocker, and all of a sudden you're still engaged, and it turns to a hold. So I think that like a play like that stuck out to me from when Seth Doege was talking about it. Like, a lot of it is like the effort is totally there. That's Rhino almost like finishing a block and not giving up. But then it ends up being a penalty because, he has the inside of his shoulder pads, how they teach you to block. And then the guy's trying to go the other direction, and all of a sudden it's just an obvious hold. Like that kind of stuff is, I think, like for me, that was eye-opening of like, yeah, I mean, it's not even really like Rhino's fault in that circumstance. It's kind of like Noah Fafita's making a scramble play, and you expected it to be a pass, but I think just from hearing his answers, it seems like they're going to weed a lot of this stuff out.
It does, and that's why I asked him that question about the level of confidence increasing as you only see issues that you can fix, right? Like I would feel like it would be like a real punch in the gut to a guy like Seth Doege who works so hard to have his guys prepared, and he has such a high level of expectation for his guys. I feel like it'd be a punch in the gut if he came out and felt like these issues were just talent, or these issues were just built into what the roster is. These are fixable things, and we've been saying that on the post-game show. We've been saying it on the preview shows. Like the issues that Arizona has, they're lucky to have them because they can fix them in short order, right? At least you hope so with the offensive line specifically. A lot of the other stuff like special teams, I think is going to be a little bit more of a developing story in terms of what they can do on the special team side of things to clean that up. But directly with the offensive line, it feels like a very, very manageable thing, Damon.
Yeah, it certainly does. And I think, from listening to both these guys today, whether it was Ismail Mahdi, whether it was Seth Doege, like, it's hard not to feel the vibes of Arizona football right now and really just be bought in. Like we got our guy Eric Duthie in the chat, and he's score predicting Arizona. Doubling up Iowa State's up Iowa State's score. I love it. I mean, I don't think that that's necessarily going to be my score prediction, but it just goes to show like the vibes are really off the charts right now, and that's half the battle, man. Like I feel like after this time last year, you're 2-1, but you let New Mexico score 39 on you. You were in a dogfight with NAU until, basically the second half. The first half was a complete dogfight. And then the third game, you get blown out by Avery Johnson in Kansas State on the road. And you're going into that fourth game going, man, this coaching staff is rough. Like I don't, this season, 3 games in last year, we were like, this season might be cooked. 3 games in this year, it's the complete opposite. You love to see it. You
do. And that's kind of what we were talking about in the first half after the Ismail Mahdi interview, right? Like the tonal shift from this year to last year at the same time is dramatically different. In fact, it's like a full 180, right? Because you did have some victories last year, but they didn't really feel like victories. And we've heard the coaches speak to that exact point, right? Winning games last year felt like an arduous task. And it's not supposed to. It's supposed to be hard work all week, and then you go out there and show off the hard work in the game. And, yeah, you fight in the game. Yeah, it's tough to win these Big 12 matchups, but you're supposed to enjoy the win as well. And Arizona was not even able to enjoy their wins last year because the issues were so obvious.
For sure.
Even in the non-conference, right? So, yeah, very, very happy with these interviews today, Damon. I think it's been an incredible week of interviews as well. Like just banger after 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 banger. After banger.
We don't. That's not really even that's not that big of a deal over here at the AZ Wildcats podcast. It just kind of is what it is. It's just like, oh yeah, another Thursday. Oh, we talked to starting running back in the up and coming star offensive coordinator. Oh yeah, yesterday we talked to multiple NBA players, including future All-American Koa Pete, who's going to lead this team to cut down nets next year. Yeah, it's special. It's special, and this podcast is special, Kevin.
Wow. It is special. This chat is special. Shout out to everybody in the chat that has been holding it down. I know I said it earlier, but we really do appreciate each and every one of you guys, especially a special shout out to Harvey Manfred Jensen, who became a member on today's pod. And I'm going to say it, Harvey Manfred Jensen earned us the bear down emote in the chat. So if you
he did.
have the right to drop it, you have to thank Harvey. I don't make the rules.
In terms of bear down and popularizing that phrase, I think it goes John Button Salmon, Harvey Manfred Jensen.
He was number one.
Literally. I think it's 1-2 like that.
That's great, Damon. Do we got anything else before we get out of here?
No, I don't believe we do have anything else, Kevin, but it's going to be super exciting. We broke some news on today's show. We got some red helmets with the helmet stickers going on Saturday. Another just kind of brush off the shoulder here on the AZ Wildcats pod. But Kevin, it's been an absolute banner week. We're going to be back tomorrow on a Friday episode at 2 p.m. We're going to bring on our guy, Justin Spears, to talk about, just kind of Arizona football through 3 weeks, what to expect in the upcoming Iowa State game. And we cannot wait for it. Make sure that you guys are here at 2 p.m. tomorrow as the, grind. It never stops, man. It just never stops. We're going to also, if you guys missed any of our Media Day coverage yesterday, Kevin and I are going to put together a best of compilation of all of our interviews so that you guys can get maybe a little bit more short form content instead of having to sift through a full hour and 55-minute show because, your boys just like to yap a little bit on the podcast. But we're going to put together a best of so you guys can maybe view that in a little bit more short, condensed type of way. But Kevin, banner week, banner show today, and it's going to be a banner Friday. It's great doing it with you, as always, my guy.
It's going to be an incredible fired up Friday. Honestly, it was a fired up week. I don't know how we can, alliterate
Monday,
that, but yeah.
I don't.
Terrific Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday.
We
were at McHale on the wood.
Yeah.
Wood Wednesday.
Yeah, Wood Wednesday.
And then Thursday, is Thursday.
Turn me up Thursday.
There's
nothing we could do with a T.
Turn me up Thursday.
Ismail Mahdi, no T's. Seth Doege, one T, but it's almost a I don't know. It's like an assist of a T. Yeah, I don't got it. Chat, let us know, but I'm gonna get to the drawing board over here. I don't know.
We will. You can follow my guy Kevin, of course, at KevoPost, KevoPosts. Kevin, did you post your make at McHale Center yesterday on your Twitter?
I didn't.
We need that today on the Twitter account. Okay. Guys, Kevin's going to post it. He made a free throw. We're going to delete the beginning part of the video where he missed the first free throw.
We can keep it, honestly, because
a nice crop on the video. Just kind of move it a little bit.
Because look,
8 seconds.
It felt good. It looked good. It was just long off the back of the rim. And that's okay. The second one felt good, looked good, nothing but
cash.
The
Absolute
adjustment.
Cash. And then the emote. To cap it all off, it was really, truly special.
You'll find
that at Kevoposts later today. Make sure that you guys throw him a follow. Follow me at Damon Dog. That's DAWG. And follow us at PHNX_Wildcats, where we are, of course, tweeting out all information, news, and notes regarding Arizona athletics all the time. Kevin, it was another banner show. We appreciate everybody for being here in the chat. We love you guys. Leave a like on this video if you are so inclined. Rate and review on your favorite podcast platform. And, of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Like I said, that's Kevin. I'm Damon. We're the AZ Wildcats Podcast. And until next time, peace out, bear down.
And go Cats. Let's have a fired up Friday tomorrow, folks.
We all silly like the mayor.